Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Valheim series, and welcome to a bit of a rough start for Season 4. I'm gonna say I normally like to do my season openers with a bit of a longer episode. I'm gonna say the footage for this one just wasn't really, Anyway, to get started, we have our Drakkar. This, as you can see, is a gigantic boat. As you can see here, as I deftly fall into the water for a completely intended purpose. If you believe that, I have some shares in a bridge I might be able to interest you in. But from this side you can see the hull is made up of scales, and this is the only boat that can safely sail in the boiling ocean that surrounds Ashlands. Now, Ashlands is the first biome that you can only access via the ocean, so you've got to sail there, and consequently you end up creating one of these for that purpose. Now, because you are traveling to hostile lands and you are getting there by boat, it is pretty important to carry a whole bunch of stuff with you, and I'll go into that in more detail later in the episode. In the meantime, just as we're setting sail, I would suggest that you, pick a helmet that makes you most resistant to stupid, and I think that will adequately frame how some of the rest of this episode is going to play out. And yeah, let's get this show on the road. As we get underway here, I did decide to use the motor power, simply because we have a very long journey ahead of us. We are starting here at home base. We're going to sail down past the trader, and we are going to head due south from there. Ashlands is situated across the bottom of the map, and we're going to aim for about the middle of it, because that improves our chances of locating enough landmass that we could set up a base somewhere that would have enough points of interest to fuel our future expansions. I did see this one little point of interest on our way south. That is the unmistakable rock formation that you get for a Yag altar. And as you can see there, that one was quite a bit closer than the Yag spawner that we actually went to back in the day. So I have a feeling I may have inevitably gone to some of the more distant bosses where there might have been closer spawners, but that's just kind of how Valheim rolls sometimes. Anyway, we're going to keep pushing on to the south here. Alright, one medium eternity later, we are passing a little bit of Mistlands here, and I'm starting to think we are actually getting very close to where we will first encounter Ashlands. So I've got two things I'm looking out for here. One is a suitable location to drop a emergency or backup portal, and the actual physical edge of Ashlands itself. So we're going to keep sailing south here until we hit the boiling ocean itself. And at night it is somewhat harder to spot. But you're going to see a little bit of a change in the ocean here soon, and you can just start to see the unmistakable spires of rock in the ocean. That is definitely Ashlands. And you'll see we're not going to enter Ashlands at night. That would be a very, very big mistake. Ashlands is already a catastrophically dangerous biome during the day. To go there at night, yeah, not a good idea at the start, and we will cover more of the reasons why that is a bad idea as we get further into this episode. I did see a serpent there, but he didn't seem to want to hang around, so we left him alone. This is Mistlands, but there's not really much mist here, and honestly, I need about 3 square meters of space on a rock to drop a workbench and a portal. This is more than enough for what I need. Alright, the Drakkar is big and it does maneuver, well, like a pregnant whale, I suppose. That said, though, it tends to pivot more around the middle of the ship rather than at the nose like the longship does. So it's a little bit to get used to. Here's a little bit of reading with Rob with Birdie Num Nums, just telling us about the, boiling ocean and the fact that we absolutely have to be very careful with anything that tends to catch fire. He forgot to mention that we should be on that list as well. Alright, and here's a quick rundown on what I have with me. I brought a bunch of wood, not sure why, because you can always drag that through a portal. I brought portal mats. I brought not nearly enough stone. We brought a ton of iron for making stoneworking benches. We brought the mats for a shield generator, and we brought some bone chips because that is what the shield generators run off. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail when we get into the Ashlands, but this is the point where I'm going to tell you, if you hadn't already worked out, that the footage so far is actually an amalgamation of 2 separate sessions. This session was easily the session that probably should not have happened. I was absolutely exhausted, and honestly, the last episode that I had already prepared, I was due to actually go live in like a day's time. So I felt like I needed to do a bit of catch up. It was a very long work day, and I thought, I'll go to Ashlands. I'll get a very basic base set up. What could possibly go wrong? Yes, we all know what happens to things when we ask that devilishly terrible question. And you're not going to be waiting much longer to work out that, yeah, things did go a bit wrong. Alright, after collecting a few more supplies, doing a quick repair on the boat, we're talking ourselves into actually going to Ashlands. I brought a little bit of core wood because my thoughts were that we were going to be building on one of the spires, and I was worried about structural integrity, so I brought some core wood just because you get a lot more strength out of that than the normal wood. Again, not really properly thinking this out. What makes this worse is the only other time that I've done what we're about to do was in a multiplayer game, and I was a mage with very high mage skills. Everything from this point forward I have never done before as a melee. So, with that little disclaimer, put out there, we're setting sail to go to the Ashlands. Very easy to see the difference between the normal ocean and the boiling ocean of Ashlands during the day. It is literally, red versus blue. So, yeah. Coming at night, though, very hard to see, as you saw earlier. Now, as we sail in here, there is a lot that could potentially happen. There are a different breed of serpents that you are going to see. There are birds. And there are a lot of things that go bump during the night, during the day, and just about every other time in between once you get to the shore. We are wanting to move to the shore, to be sure. But we're trying to plot a course through the spires. And that's not as easy as it sounds. Particularly when you get this heavy haze or you get a storm coming. It becomes very difficult to work out well ahead of time what is a good direction to go in. So this is why, even though we've got some fairly good wind, I'm not actually bothering to use very much sail here at all. I'm trying to pick my way through the spires, keep an eye for where the shoreline is, as well as watching for serpents and vultures. Let's see how that all goes. Now, you may want to chime in at this point and just go, but Rob, you said it all went catastrophically wrong. We've seen a couple of little flappy birds off to the side, and we haven't really seen anything else. I reckon you've just been, painting this as all doom and gloom, and you're just gonna, spring the joke on us at the end of the episode. Yeah, no, that's not how this episode is gonna roll. Trust me. One of the other things you have to watch out for is, not just on these spires, but in Ashlands as well, there are these great big glowing rocks that are on the side of the normal rocks, and they will explode and do a lot of damage. It's best to set them off with a bow or a crossbow or a spell. Don't do what I did when I came down here with Itchy for the first time, and I thought it was a new type of mineral node, and I got my pickaxe out, and luckily I was a mage with a very strong mage bubble, but it did propel me for a distance in the ocean, and gave me pause to reconsider my actions. So yeah, don't mine the glowy rocks. As we move on from that piece of advice, you can see we are well underway with engaging a bone maw. The bone maws are the serpents of the Ashland Ocean. they spew fire at you, they chew on your boat. A single serpent, if you get rid of it reasonably quickly, and I will submit to you that any of the bows with decent arrows probably would kill a serpent a little bit quicker than I'm doing with my crossbow. But yeah, I'm still trying to grind the crossbow up, and I'm still determined to keep that as my main ranged weapon. But if you focus on the serpent and you don't sort of ignore it for long periods, the boat's got enough health. It can deal with one or two of those without needing a repair. But if you do need a repair, there's little flat spots on the side of these spires, and you can just whack down like a bench, do a quick repair, and then pick the bench up again afterwards. Now, we're just starting to get to the bit where things go wrong, and mostly for stupid reasons. Now, as you can see, there's a bit of an effect that was starting to come around the screen, and that's your warning that you shouldn't be in the ocean for any longer than you already have been, or you're going to start taking damage. Keep that in mind as I climb up here and grab some of the native mushrooms. And at this height, I'm starting to see that there is, not very far away, some ruins. And if there's ruins, it means we are actually reasonably close to the shore at this stage. So, now that I've spotted that, I've identified a need for Grawston. Grawston is a special kind of stone, and it is the primary stone that you will find in Ashlands. Now, as you can see, for the next 2,000 years, as all the recipes unlock, you can use it for a lot of different types of building. The most important aspect of it is it's very, very resistant to, burning and things like that. So that's mostly why I want some Grawston on me, is because I'm intending that wherever I set up my portal, I'm going to, at the minimum, get a Grawston roof over it to give me enough time to get a shield generator set up. And, of course, if the shield generator goes down, it gives you a lot more time to actually, get things fixed and get the generator back up and running. Now, we move now to the things have been going really well. Why am I swimming out here to try and pick up some more of this Grawston? Short answer, I'm tired. And I got out here and I thought I could get up on the rock without realising that I'd burnt through all my stamina just getting here. And the old trick of just standing on the side of the rock to... yeah, that's pretty much it. And we died a lot. I've actually cut all of it out. I was very unimpressed with myself. It was a work night, and yeah, I chopped all of it. I recovered everything and got us back to this point. I know I said in a lot of previous episodes that I will show all of my stupid. Yeah, this just, trust me, it's just a waste of time. There was so much stupid. If you want to see that much stupid, there are a lot of other places in the world that you can see it, and it won't take up hours and hours of my episodes. So just take it as read, guys. There is now an official threshold to just how much stupid I'm prepared to expose you guys to. Trust me, I've done you a good service by not doing it. Anyway, we got our boat through that gap, through the waves, sort of elevating us up enough to slide through. I've found this little rock here. Honestly, I should have set up on the spire and not on the rock. But, yeah, hindsight and all that. This rock looked like a better place to set up, but I didn't realise just how close to the shore it was. At this point, I still thought that was enough of a gap. Trust me, it wasn't. And that spire that's next to the boat would have been a far better option to get a little base set up on. Anyway, we move ahead to getting our bits and pieces that we need. We've already, killed some stuff and picked up some more Grawston. So our first job now is to get down our workbench, get down our stoneworking bench, get down our portal, and get down our shield generator. So we are now going to get started with that. I've sped it all up because, it's just me throwing down a bunch of benches. You didn't miss much in that regard. In regard to further deaths, yeah, I've cut a few of those out. I'll cover the reasons why probably in the next episode. For the most part, it boiled down to my skills were just not high enough. And I'll include a little screenshot here soon with what my skills were at this time. And, yeah, essentially a 1-star melee style Chard. So Chard is a skeleton type here that's your primary enemy. A 1-star one-shot me through my shield, through my block. It was absolutely unmistakable. It wasn't bad timing. It was... I just was not blocking enough. And I went into the wiki, which I don't like to do, but I was very curious as to what the potential damage is for a 1-star Chard warrior. And I was not prepared, or, insert your Admiral Akbar, I was not set up to repel firepower of that magnitude. I came up with a bit of a solution, and I'll definitely show that to you next episode. But, yeah. As a melee, you need very, very... If you're going to be a block build, you need a lot of block. Particularly, yeah, if you're going to be blocking. If you're going to be parrying, you'd better have absolutely flawless reflexes. Because the Chard can hit, well, the 1-star ones can hit you for over 250 damage. I'll let that sink in for a minute. In the meantime, we're continuing with our build, and I'm fat fingering my healing potion instead of just unequipping my build hammer. Yet more evidence that I was definitely very tired at this stage. We've got lots of locals because what have I said about building and mining and pretty much any other kind of useful activity at night in a biome? Yep, it's always going to attract some undesired attention, and Ashlands is no exception to that. In terms of other mobs that you will come across, these twitches are just a joke, to be honest. I am very thankful that they are a joke, because if they weren't, Ashlands would be even harder than it already is. As much as I, moan about how hard Ashlands is, this is after the spawn rate has been nerfed a bit. I literally recorded this about 3 days ago. And relative to when it's going to be released, all of this was done and prepared within a week of when it goes up on YouTube. So it's all current, but it's for a melee. I can't emphasize this enough. You really need to, you need to be good, not just rudimentary. But we are still going to soldier on. I am still going to keep going with this series. I will do a bit of mage stuff from time to time. But the mage does need a lot of work in terms of skills, so it may be a little while before you see me doing any serious content with the mage as far as Ashlands is concerned, but rest assured, I'll get some work done on that soon. I just need to get a bit more caught up with getting a few more episodes under my belt again, so that I've got time to do a bit of grinding with the mage and get the skills up. Anyway, that was a little bit more of waffling and ranting and carrying on. In the background, you've seen me deal with a few more of the locals, get a little bit more of the base built, and we're getting very close to having everything ready. So, let's see how the rest of that goes. Alright, we've finally got our main portal down, and I'll draw your attention to that bony, big, round looking thing digging in the ground in the background. Yeah, that's a Morgan. Those things are painful. We do face some in later episodes, so stay tuned for that. I am having a minor chuckle to myself that that one is on fire and it has nothing to do with me. But with that minor amusement out of the way, we're going to throw our shield generator down. I have, of course, forgotten to bring the bone chips out of the boat with me, but we're going to go and grab that now, load up the shield generator, and then finally take half a step back and just go, yay, we have our beachhead. I had thought to put in a Dreadful Scotty impersonation saying something like shields up, but yeah, not gonna happen, I'm afraid. Just imagine I did and we'll move on. Alright, after a bit of a sleep, we're here at night, next morning. We can see our Morgan friend down the beach there. We're not in a hurry to get his attention just yet. We can see a few random spot fires on the ground. That is par for the course for Ashlands. You can see the edge of our shield bubble. The shield bubble stops stuff from spontaneously combusting at your base. Now, this is our current skills. And as you can see, our blocking was... sorry, it flicked past too quick. Oh, it's 36. And it was actually very slightly higher than that when I got one-shot by the one-star warrior. But we'll come back to that in the next episode. For the moment, we're just going to do a bit of an unload. As you can see, there's already a bunch of newly labelled chests. Minor observation at this point. I have a funny feeling I'm going to need to rearrange a few chests to make a little bit more room downstairs. If I do that, I'll let you know, but for the moment, I think I've just got enough room. I'm going through all the recipes just to see if I've unlocked anything yet. I haven't, but at this stage I was so tired I couldn't remember exactly what I needed before I would start getting some of the new recipes. Trust me, there's a lot of work to do before I get to that stage. I'm having a look here just to see if I've unlocked any of the workstation upgrades. Trust me, I haven't. Most of them are going to need metal and possibly some other components. So, but we'll get on to that soon enough. We've reached the end of the episode. If you've liked it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. In the meantime, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching and have yourself a fantastic day.